Hi guys, my name is Kat and today I will be filming my February wrap-up. Now, I didn't have a January wrap-up and I was planning on filming a January/February wrap-up, but I just don't think it would be a good idea to film a January wrap-up because a few of those books were rereads and they were like popular books that everyone knows the synopsis of, or books that I read long enough ago or that weren't good enough that I really remembered a good synopsis of it. So if you want to know what I read in January, you can just, I guess, check my Goodreads page, which is always linked down below, and I update that every single day. So if you want to know what I'm reading or what I read in January or any of that, you can check out my Goodreads page. But today I will be just talking about the 8 books that I read in February. The first book that I read in February was a book that I don't own. I got it from the library, so I don't have it with me, and that was City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. I really loved this book. It's really hard to give a synopsis of. I want to give you a good synopsis of it. You probably already read it or know what it's about. It's obviously the first book in the Immortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare, which I'm finally reading, and I really loved it. And I really don't want to give a synopsis because I'm going to say it totally wrong, but I gave this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and I really loved it. The only thing I had a slight issue with is kind of the information dumping. She just kind of pours a lot of information on you at one time, and it's like you really have to soak it up. Like, it's kind of hard to get into, but it's still really good, and if you get through it, I really loved it. So 4.5 stars. The next book in February I read that I do have is Where She Went by Gail Forman. I read If I Stay, which is the first book in this duology, back in like July, and I don't know why it took me so long to pick up Where She Went because I really loved If I Stay. So I finally read this and I absolutely loved it. And now my dog's barking like a lunatic, so I'm sorry if you can hear him. Anyways, this book is phenomenal. Like, I think I love this one more than If I Stay. I gave this one 5 stars. If you don't know the synopsis of If I Stay, basically it's about a girl named Mia and kind of focuses on her family and her boyfriend Adam, and she is a really amazing cello player, so she's really trying to focus on getting into Juilliard and worrying about what's going to happen to her relationship if she gets into Juilliard, and just all of this stuff, and all of that, everything that she's worrying about kind of goes out the window when her family gets into a really serious car accident. So, and basically that whole book is Mia having like an out-of-body experience, trying to decide if she wants to die or if she wants to live. So, and then this book, which is the second book in the duology, takes place 3 years after If I Say, and this is in Adam's perspective, and it's just so good, and it's kind of set up the same way as If I Say is, which they talk in the present, and then there's a chapter that's kind of a flashback, and then again in the present. So I really love how it's set up, and I love Gail Forman's writing, and I just loved this book, so 5 stars. The next book I read in February was a reread, and that was My Life Next Door by Huntley Fitzpatrick. Now, this book is just so good, and unfortunately it is a reread, so it doesn't count towards my Goodreads goal, but I'm counting it because I read all of it this month, which is, you know. But this book is really good. This book follows a girl named Samantha Reed and her next door neighbors. So basically, Samantha she lives with her mom and her sister, and I don't know how to explain her. She's not really spoiled, but everything is very orderly. Like, she listens to her mom, she's a straight A student, everything in her house is always clean and perfect and all of that. And her next door neighbor, the Garretts, are this totally crazy rambunctious family with like toys all over the yard. There's like 8 kids or something in this family, and Samantha has always been forbidden to talk to the Garretts or to play and hang out with the Garretts because her mom hates the Garretts because she just doesn't like the way their family is run. So, but this book is about Samantha, who finally meets and talks to one of the Garretts, or Jace Garrett, and it's about their kind of story, and it's just a great read. I highly recommend this if you like romance books or contemporary books or anything like that. I just really love this book, and I gave it 5 stars. Yes. The next book I read in February was The Wide Window by Lemony Snicket, which is the second book in the series of it's the third book in the series of Unfortunate Events series by Lemony Snicket. I read this series when I was in 3rd and 4th grade. I really loved it then. I'm really enjoying it now. It's hard to give a synopsis of. I would just say check it out if you haven't, or if you're interested in it. It is a middle grade or children's story, but I gave The Wide Window 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I read in February was Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. Yes, I finally read Fangirl, and I loved it. I was always so nervous to read Fangirl because I read Eleanor and Park so long ago, and everyone loved that, and I really just was not a huge fan of Eleanor and Park. It just wasn't my thing. I didn't really like it, so I was really nervous to pick this one up, but I finally did, and I absolutely adored it. This book follows a girl named Kath and her twin Ren, and they've basically been inseparable since birth. Like, they've been best friends forever, and then obviously because they're twins, but this is about them, and they both go to the same college, but Ren has decided that she doesn't want to be linked to Kath as much anymore, so she gets her own dorm and she gets new friends and everything like that, and Kath is not super happy about that. She's a fangirl, obviously, but she just kind of sits in, she doesn't want to be away from Ren because she just sits in her dorm room and she just writes fan fiction and all of that. And basically, if you're a fangirl, read this book because it's so very relatable, but it's obviously going to be there's going to be a cute love story in it, and I'm probably butchering all of these synopses, and I'm so sorry. But anyway, this is another cute contemporary that I highly recommend you read because it's just really good, and I loved it. The next book I read in February was Shatter Me by Tahereh Mafi. I finally read Shatter Me, I know. This book was interesting. I don't really know how to, it was weird. I mean, this book follows a girl named Juliet who, it starts off with her in a kind of mental institution sort of deal. Basically, Juliet can, when she touches people, she can kill them, like skin on skin contact. The other person dies, and she gets like more powerful kind of from it, which is a really super interesting concept. I love how it's written with the cross outs. Like, she will like think something and then she'll cross it out and then say something else. But I really love how that's set up, and I like that Juliet's kind of not all super right in the head. Like, she's kind of a little messed up naturally from what her life's been so far. But I did give this book a 4 out of 5 stars because I did have a few issues with it. My one main issue, which killed me, was the amount of metaphors used in this book. Like, there's one of the characters, Adam, how many times and how many different metaphors have been used to describe his eyes. Like, his eyes are a flowing ocean, his eyes are a bucket of water, and just like not even great metaphors, and it killed me. And every time they said like any metaphor, I'm like, no, please stop, just stop doing that. But all in all, I really did enjoy the story. I will be continuing on with this series pretty soon once I get the novellas that comes after Shatter Me, and then I can read Unravel Me. But yeah, so my only issue is the metaphors, really, but I did really enjoy this book. It was really interesting. The next book I read in February was The Book Thief by Marquez Zuzak, and just let me tell you, I loved this book so much. I had seen the movie beforehand, so I did know the ending of it, but really, I mean, this kind of has like the same plot, but like the actual events that occur are totally different from the movie. So if you've seen the movie and you're like, okay, I've seen it, I don't need to read the book, you're wrong. Read the book anyways, because it's completely different. Obviously, like, the same main things happen, but like the smaller details are all totally different. So I really love this book. This is now I'm sorry I keep messing with my hair here, but this is now one of my favorite books of all time. This is the first historical fiction book I've ever read, and I really loved it. And I cried a lot in the end. It was very sad. But this is, oh, there's someone outside my window. This is about a girl named Liesel, and it takes place in World War II, in Germany, over there, like, all during the Nazi rule and Hitler and all of that horrible things. But this takes place from the time Liesel is like 9 to when she's like 14 or 15, over all of those years. And basically it starts with Liesel going to a new family who's adopting her, and it's just her growing up in Nazi Germany and all of that kind of thing. And it's really interesting. It's really a beautiful story, and it's narrated by Death, which is really interesting and really kind of cool and creepy, and I just really enjoyed everything about this book. So I highly recommend The Book Thief. I obviously gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it. The next and final book I read in February was an old favorite, and that is Divergent by Veronica Roth. I've seen so many people like unhauling this whole series lately. I've seen like 3 people in the past like week who are unhauling this, and I'm just sitting here like I don't understand. I love it so much. I love one of my favorite books of all time. But Insurgent, the movie, is obviously coming out this month, so I wanted to reread Divergent and Insurgent, which I'm reading right now, before the movie comes out. I'm not going to give you a synopsis of this because you probably already know, or you've probably already read it, or whatever. But obviously this book is a 5 out of 5 stars. I love this book so much. It's just, I'm just an awkward mess when I read this book because I just sit there and laugh at myself and the events that occur, and it's just so cute and amazing. And Veronica Roth, you kill me with your writing. Whoa, something fell and that scared the crap out of me. Anyways, moving on before I freak out. Those are all of the books I read in February. That was really weird and freaked me out, but I'm gonna hold them up because I can. Can I? No, I can't. These are all the books that I read in February. Let me know what you read in February, and yeah, I will see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye!